Hi. So I just wanted to do a quick chat about why and how I left Etsy, and I think this might turn into a little series about setting up your own e-commerce because I get a lot of questions about it and I thought it'd be super helpful, and I like to chat business. So I left Etsy in August of 2019, and so far it's been pretty great. I have my own website set up through Weebly, and since Square, like the little card reader, Square had bought out Weebly sometime along, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not too sure on those specifics, but it made my life easier in terms of integrating my market sales and my online sales. So it was cool. I already had a portfolio site, and I was at the time paying for Etsy. And when I really looked at my numbers, I found out that I was paying more than $30 a month in fees alone for my Etsy transactions. So for me, Etsy is about 10%, I would say, in total of the final cost of my product. So that was like $300 a month that I felt I needed to make in order to justify having my own website, because most websites are about $30 a month. Like if you look at Shopify or Squarespace, or if you end up going with Weebly/Square, they're all just around $30 a month for an e-commerce site, with all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. So I was just like, I'm already paying that much anyways, and I don't want to do free shipping. And I was already driving about 70% of my traffic to my Etsy store. So I felt, you know what, I can swing it. So I would suggest, if you're thinking about switching from Etsy to your own site, first thing you can look at is how much traffic are you driving? And if it's most of it, then you can take them somewhere else very easily. And then see how much are you paying a month in fees to see if it would be more cost effective for you. Because for me, it definitely was. So with the Weebly account that I have, I think it's called Business or Performance or something like that. I pay $26 a month, but I don't pay it monthly. I paid it by, the year, But it breaks down to $26 a month. So I was just like, yeah, totally worth it. When I first started setting it up, it was daunting, but definitely doable. It was the summer, so I knew things were slower, and I had the time, so it was just like, this is a good time to try this out. And I did not pay for the full year right then and there. I was just like, nope, I'm gonna try this throughout the holiday season, decide in January. So I did pay the higher cost for a few months before I decided to pay for the whole year. But that was really helpful just to make sure I liked it and make sure I wanted to go with it. So that's another suggestion. You can just pay month to month to see if you like it, give it 3 months, and then decide if you want to, make a bigger investment. Anyways, back to setup process. Daunting, not impossible, lots of baby steps. The first thing I did was import my Etsy listings into my website, and a lot of the information I had to fix, but it's definitely a good starting point. If you have a ton of listings, this might be a little overwhelming. At the time, I maybe had 20 or so. Yeah. So it wasn't terrible, and I just had to change a few of the, the descriptions to fit the object either a little bit better, or any Etsy links that I had in them, just take those out, stuff like that. But that was the first step. Didn't take too long. And then the next step was figuring out how am I going to charge for shipping, because since I'm a potter and I make a lot of different size things, shipping, my lowest cost is a sticker, which I ship for 55 cents using a stamp. And then my highest shipping can be anywhere between $20, $30 if it's international, or if it's a big item like within the United States, sometimes it's like $16. So from 55 cents to like $16 and up, that's a big difference. So setting up my shipping took the longest time, but it was definitely worth it to have accurate shipping prices for my customers because it's calculated by weight, which Etsy doesn't do, mind you. So I'm saving money for my customers on shipping. So when you're making your listing of the items, they have an option to put in the weight of the item, and that's what calculates the shipping. So then you have all these different little brackets of like 0 to 1 pound is this price, 1 pound to 2 pounds is this price, etc., etc. And that was super helpful. I used the PDF that Pirate Ship has available for free to look at in order to decide my prices, because I shipped through Pirate Ship before. When I was using Etsy, I used Pirate Ship and I really like it, so now I'm using it with Weebly. That was probably the most helpful little PDF I've come across so long. I love Pirate Ship. They make shipping so easy. I swear this isn't sponsored. I just really like using that platform for my shipping. But the last step, which was probably the thing holding me back the most, was taxes. And if you're in the United States, every different state has a different sales tax, right? I'm in the state of Connecticut. We have a percentage for sales tax. Every other state has a percentage. Some don't charge. Some are like at 10%, whatever. But this isn't legal advice. This isn't tax advice. Please don't take this advice as like, you have to do your own research, basically. So when it comes to the taxes, the sales taxes for all the different states, when you're doing your research, you can use the terms economic nexus laws and or sales tax nexus. So I'll link down below the site that I use, but basically what it comes to is you have to make like $100,000 and or make a ton of sales in that state before you have to be concerned about paying the sales tax. These laws are more geared towards bigger businesses, which is why Etsy, being a large business, is doing those taxes and remittance for you, because they're huge. They're a huge business and they're accepting the money on your behalf, so they have to do the taxes stuff. But if you're on your own site, and unless if you're rolling in dough, making the big bucks through these different states, then you don't have very much to be concerned about, at least for now. If that ever gets more complicated, I'm sure there will be some sort of widget out there to make this easier. And if I ever reach, highly doubt it, but if I ever reach the point where I need to be concerned about other states other than my own, hopefully I can afford to have an accountant figure all that stuff out for me. Which, by the way, if you're interested in being your own business, you should probably have an accountant. It really helps. Anyways, like I said, economic nexus laws or sales tax nexus. Those are the keywords that you want to use when doing your research. It sounds a lot more daunting than it is. I promise it's not that scary. So that's been my experience setting up my own website. I really like using it. It takes about the same amount of time to set up the listings on my website as it does to set up an Etsy listing. I like the control that I have on the back end in terms of aesthetics, that it's my own website. My customers only see my stuff, and it's super easy for them to purchase. Weebly does do the mobile view very easily, seamless. So that's great. Whatever site you're using, I'm sure does too. There's a bunch of them out there. Give them all a try. I've done a shop update probably once a month since then, just about once a month, maybe once every other month, depending on the season. and they've all done great for me. The way that I run my business is I make the work, photograph it, list it, announce the time that things will be for sale, because a lot of the things I make are kind of one of a kind and stuff, you know? So I feel like this is the most fair way for now to do things. And then once it goes live, people buy. And then I have some stuff left over in my store until my next shop launch. 9 months later, I'm still running most of my e-commerce on my own website versus on Etsy. And it's enough to pay my bills, and it's been growing, thankfully, it's great, you know? I would say about 90% of my sales are through my own website now. Definitely have not done markets. I don't think I will at all this year. So I will be concentrating on e-commerce fully from here till end of the year into next year probably. I still do have my Etsy because people still find and search art on Etsy. Granted, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but for right now, I mostly just list things that I have a lot of in stock. Because managing 2 sets of inventory, I don't have the brain space to do that effectively. I don't trust myself to manage 2 different inventories, let alone when I was doing markets, that would be 3 sets of inventory. No. I still have an Etsy. I'll still probably post product on there, but it's not going to be the same product that I list on my website. My website will get first dibs on all the goods. Etsy will probably have either some bestsellers or like my stickers and prints that are easy to keep up with the inventory, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that's still a work in progress because people still search and use Etsy, so I'm just gonna use that for its SEO. But all my bread and butter comes from my website. So thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're interested in learning a few more tips on e-commerce for makers and potters and artists. Yeah, let me know if this was helpful. I really like to see other businesses like mine succeed, especially potters. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching.